Happy New Year. We are into January the 2nd, and we are going to bring you some analysis today and a little bit of information on how to sign up for the Santa Anita Pick'em contest. These are free, totally free to enter every Saturday and every Sunday at the Santa Anita meet. And we will have live streams for you just to show you how to sign up, to show you what the prop contest will look like for Sunday this week. Next week, we'll do them on Friday. We'll do a Friday show for you to preview the Saturday props. And I'll usually have a guest or two with me. Today, we're going to get through the Sunday props just to let you know, since it's a Sunday, you can imagine there's going to be a lot of NFL football on the slate. Here is how you sign up for these Pick'em contests. It's totally free. You head to pick'em.santaanita.com. And here's what it looks like when you get to pick'em.santaanita.com. You can check out all the rules to play. Click right there. You can read everything you need to know. Like always, before you enter any contest, any games, check out all the rules, check out the eligibility, the how to sign up, some of the specifics on scratches, on changes, on anything that happens. So at least you always want to do this before you ever make any wager, before you ever get involved in any contest, anything at all. So those are the rules for the Pick'em contest. And here's what the cards look like. This is today's Sunday, January the 2nd card. So your tiebreaker is going to be the total yards in the Cardinals-Cowboys game later today. So we'll get to the tiebreaker in just a moment. But here's what it looks like. Again, totally free to enter. The winner of each day will get $500. $500 doesn't cost you anything, and you're going to be answering questions that are combinations of horse races and NFL and other games that happen on Sunday. So you've got Santa Anita, race 1. You've got Broncos, Chargers here, Cardinals, Cowboys game. Oh, you got a prop that includes Herbert and Pratt. How about this? Pratt won 6 on Saturday. This would have been a no doubt about her Pratt win if this was for Saturday, but for Sunday, is he going to go back-to-back with huge days, or does Justin Herbert get a couple touchdown passes, and do you lean that way? Vikings, Packers, we know it's not going to be Kirk Cousins, so this line has ballooned all the way up to 13 and a half. We're going to go Santa Anita, race 6. We're going to go total points by the Packers or the highest Sunday Santa Anita win payoff. Who's going to have the most rushing yards? Just wanted to give you a look at what all the props look like, and then we'll go through and we'll give you a small little bit of analysis for each one. Final, we'll end with LeBron, who is on a streak right now. So if you've never seen these before, here's what it is. 12 questions, some of them horse racing, some of them football, some of them horse racing and football. There's a basketball one at the end. You got to answer each question. Tells you how many people have picked each. Now remember, if you pick the chalk all the way down, you may win, but you may be one of 50 winners, and then it'll all come down to your tiebreaker. So the best thing to do in contests and in competitions like this is you want to zig when everybody else is going to zag. So I'm always looking to be a little contrarian, because what's the point of finishing in the middle when that's not going to do you any good? I want to win, and I don't mind finishing dead last if it's with the approach knowing that, hey, I want to be the only one or one of the few if these particular props hit, if my opinion is right. So let's start out with your tiebreaker here right off the bat. So we've got the total yards in the Cardinals-Cowboys game, and we're looking at the per ESPN team stats. Now, with these total yards props, I mean, they're a little difficult, right? How are you going to go based off of just the average total yards per team? I sort of looked at that, each team's average total yards per game, and then I wanted to really lean heavily towards the recency. So I took each team's most recent games. I took like the last 5 games for the Cowboys. In their last five, they're averaging 392 yards per game. In Arizona's last 3 games with Kyler Murray back, they're averaging about 407 yards per game. So these two teams are basically at about 800 yards per game on the average. So I went right around there. I went 803 for the average, for the total yards for them for my tiebreaker. So I just kind of massaged the two of them there and got to a number that I thought was pretty safe with where they've both been as of late. So make sure you get your tiebreaker filled out in the total yards right off the bat. So get to Santa Anita, race number 1. Now, I do want to show you the race. I want to pull it up here from Santa Anita. And what's really cool is that very lucky to be working with Daily Racing Form and DRF Formulator. And in doing so, we have the opportunity to take a look at the Daily Racing Form past performances. So let's show you, whenever I'm handicapping the races, I immediately go to drf.com. You can go to shop.drf.com and you can purchase these exact past performances that I'm going to be showing you. And why I love these particular ones, well, look at all the information. If it's blue, you could click on it, which means you could click on a chart, you could click on trainer information and stats, you can click on dam pedigree information, you can click to check out a race replay immediately. And let's do that here with Eastern Ocean. So Eastern Ocean is going to be going 6.5 furlongs down the hill. Eastern Ocean won at 6.5 furlongs down the hill on October the 30th. We can see this was on the down the hillside turf course for 3-year-olds and up. And let's go back and take a look at the race. We can see exactly what happened on October 30th when Eastern Ocean went down the hill in this very, very same layout. Now, I thought this race was really good. And what's nice about it, Eastern Ocean is the 9 in this race that we're going to be watching. So you'll see it's a great race because he breaks really well from the outside. Then he's able to sit just really, really nicely, just off the pace. That was a race in which New Park was setting the pace on the front end. And you can tell he just got New Park within striking range the entire time. Then after this race, Eastern Ocean stretches out, goes and runs a mile and a 16th behind a horse named Red Storm Risen, was just second tracking that whole time. And the mile cutting back to 6.5 the mile and a 16th, and now cutting back to 6.5 furlongs will give this horse so much more bottom. I mean, this was just a really great effort from him. He put himself in striking range. He got a beautiful trip, and he has that type of running style where he should be able to make his own trip in here. He should be able to, again, put himself in striking range, and he should be able to, again, have more bottom on the cutback. I mean, you just see he gets right to the front without even really being asked, and now you just shake the reins a little bit, and nobody else has a shot there with the way that race had shaped up. So for me, in the first race at Santa Anita, which is the first prop, I'm going with the number 2, Eastern Ocean. He's 6-1 on the morning line. This is not going to be a chalk situation here. So Eastern Ocean for me. Let me make sure we plug in our tiebreaker. Got to get that one in there. So now, what's nice, every time you punch it in, you can see it'll say that it'll say that your tiebreaker has been submitted anytime you punch in one of your props. So that was Eastern Ocean there in race number 1. Let's get to our next prop, and we'll pull back up the Santa Anita props list, show you what is prop number 2, and we get back to a little football here. So just make sure, like when you type in anything, so I'm typing in my tiebreaker 803, you submit, and then you'll get the alert that your answer has been submitted. So you got Eastern Ocean here. Pick has been canceled. Pick has been made. Boom. My pick is in. That's what's great about these two. You'll get to see the percentages of what other people are doing, and you'll always get alerted when you've made a selection. Now, in number 2 here, we've got Chargers, Broncos. And honestly, in some of these with the lines, I don't even get too cute. I just go where the money has been moving. And I know that's not always the smartest way to play it, but I just like to go elsewhere. So, for example, this particular game, right now, the line is, let's see, for the Chargers, the line is 7.5. So, I look at this, especially when it goes over a key number, like 6.5 to 7. I look at it like I'd rather have the Chargers here because they're 7.5 everywhere else. They're 6.5 right here. So you're basically getting a point if you play the Chargers. You're basically getting over the touchdown. You don't even need them to cover by a touchdown here. So that point is a huge point. Now, in the handicap of the game overall, that's different. But when I'm playing in these prop contests like this, I'm not even really handicapping the game as much as I'm trying to play in the line movement. I just want to give myself the best number. I want to give myself the best value every time. And I think in doing so, we're on the Chargers here, just giving ourselves that extra point. So, Denver beat them last time they played. It was Teddy B most of the game. Chargers have to bounce back off of that really, really poor effort last week against the Texans. They get some of their key players back. So we'll lean Chargers, but it's less about the handicap of the game and just more about the fact that this line has moved to 7.5. We only need it at 6.5 here. Let's take it here. Similar situation with prop number 3. Cardinals Cowboys over 50.5. This thing is at 52 right now. So if I only need to get to over 50.5, it's already moved to 52. I'm always going to jump on the extra. I get extra 1.5 here. So we're going to go Cardinals Cowboys over the 50.5. What number is bigger? Herbert touchdown passes or Flavian Pratt wins on the Sunday Santa Anita card? So Herbert has 33 touchdown passes so far this year. He has been in 15 games. So he had 2 last time they played against Denver earlier this year. So you're going to get 2 plus or so from Herbert per game. Now, yesterday, Pratt had 6 wins in 4 seconds on the Saturday card. He has 7 mounts on Sunday. They're not quite as imposing on paper. I think on Saturday, like every one that he had was 7-2 or under. He has a couple that might be a little longer prices, like 5-1 or over. We're not talking about 20-1 shots. I think we got a big opportunity for Justin Herbert to get you 3 touchdowns and for Flavian Pratt to get, in the 2 to 3 range. So I'm going to lean Herbert here. And I mean, again, like with some of these props, it's nothing that's, incredible. And it's like massaging the analysis, right? Because we can't be precise with, what's going to happen with Pratt's wins, but we make a guess. You make an educated guess, and that's where you end up. So for me, I'm going to lean Herbert in this spot. I think a lot of people, because Pratt just won 6 on Saturday, will go, oh, Pratt's going to go back and win a bunch again. If we get 4 Herbert touchdown passes, if we get 3 Herbert touchdown passes, I feel like that's going to be a pretty big number for Pratt to have to get to again on Sunday. So let's go Justin Herbert, and the 2 to 3 is where I'm thinking for touchdown passes. So we're going to go Herbert on the TD passes here. We go to Vikings, Packers. This is another one that, because of a lot of the COVID issues, because of a lot of the things that have been happening recently, this number has ballooned. It's going to be Sean Mannion who will be starting for the Vikings. Now, in his entire career, he's only started twice. He's played in 13 games, and he has 74 career passing attempts. What I do like is that Dalvin Cook is there. Green Bay is a good football team, but their defense is a little bit overhyped. If you're just talking about the DVOA defensive metrics, Green Bay is 21st overall in defense. And one thing we really noticed with them last week, they can't stop the run. They are 31st against the run. Second to last. There's only one team in the league that's worse defending the rush, and that's the Chargers. So, I mean, in a very simple, basic sense, let's just handicap the way this game is going to play out today. You have a Vikings team who's not going to be with their starting quarterback, who's going to have a backup playing that has not played very much. What do you want to do if you're the Vikings? Hand the ball off, run the ball against a defense that is not good against the run. I know it's predictable, but sometimes it doesn't matter. You can't get too cute. Hand the ball off over and over and over. It should be Dalvin Cook today. We're going to go with the Vikings plus the 13.5 here, which really, the Packers need to beat you by 14 in order to cover here. They need to beat you by 2 scores in a divisional game that Green Bay doesn't need to win by 20 points. And let's say they are up by 20 points. You get a garbage late touchdown here. You get a backdoor cover. We're leaning Vikings plus the 13.5. Let's continue along with the Santa Anita 6th race. As we get to the 7 Ottawa Fire, let's take a quick look at the past performances on Ottawa Fire. We can pull up DRF past performances again. Formulator for me, that's always where I'm looking when I'm handicapping the races. So we get to Ottawa Fire for number 6 prop, which is race number 6. And I thought Ottawa Fire's last effort was really good, dropping back at the $32,000 level. And then when dropping at that level, Hess claimed, now you step back up, you protect this runner who has a little bit of speed, but I'm expecting him to be a little more tracking in this spot, maybe sitting 3rd or 4th with some other pace signed on in this race. You see towards the outside, you'd imagine Solo and Nemo going to be flashing a little bit of speed. You'd imagine Impossible Task also going to be flashing a little bit of speed. So I think 3rd, 4th is where we'd like to see this one, Ottawa Fire, end up. Rispoli, very, very capable, excellent turf pilot. Ottawa Fire, who was actually, like, you look at some of the races before the win last time out, which was kind of the drop-in class, confidence-building win. Now you step back up, 3rd start of the form cycle. He was favored over Liar Liar, and he got a ton of money in the race against Secret Club. He fits quite a bit in here. Ottawa Fire, and Ottawa Fire, as we go back to the Santa Anita Pick'em prop screen, and we can take a look at all of the different props to select from. Ottawa Fire isn't a horse that's going to be overwhelmingly picked. Now, I'm actually surprised that there's a 17% share so far early on. You can see Secret Club getting a lot of the support. 29% of the folks have gone in that direction, and over 21% of people, over 20% of people have gone to Nerves of Steel. That's number 6. We continue on to number 7. So we're going to go Packers total points or the highest Sunday Santa Anita win payout. Now, the Packers team total, if you're just looking at the lines, is 27.5. So that's their team total spread, should they go over or under that. The highest Sunday Santa Anita win payoff, in order to get to that 27.5, would need to be around 13-1, right? So I'm kind of guesstimating the Packers to 30 points. That would put us needing like a 14-1 shot to get over that. I went through the races. I've handicapped this card. I didn't see that many double-digit horses that I thought were live. Maybe horses that are in the 6 to 10-1 range, but not as many that from 10 to 15. So I'm going to go total points scored by the Packers versus the highest Sunday Santa Anita win payoff. I mean, there's an opportunity that the win payoff at Santa Anita could be something really short. Any day, you never know. It could be a chalky kind of a day. Maybe it ends up being 15. I do think the Packers will score more than 15. So I think you get a better, you get a little bit more bang for your buck. You have more margin for error with the Packers than with the Sunday Santa Anita win wager here. Let's move along to our next prop here. We are up to number 8 on the Santa Anita Sunday Pick'em contest. Remember, these contests, they are totally free to enter. Doesn't cost you a cent. $500 to the winner every Saturday, every Sunday, and on holiday Mondays. So I went in this 8th race. Which of these teams will have the most rushing yards on Sunday? Chargers, Cowboys, Packers, Vikings. Well, my handicap for the Vikings game is also going to be built into this prop. First and foremost, we have the 2 worst rushing defenses in the league in this prop, the Chargers and the Packers. Now, the team playing the Chargers isn't in here, the Broncos. So I might have picked the Broncos, to be honest, if they were in one of these selections. But I think people see the Cowboys and they think really great offense. The Cowboys are going to run the ball a ton. They're a pretty balanced offense. With the Vikings and how they come into this game this weekend with no Kirk Cousins, with Mannion, playing against a really bad run defense, and they have Dalvin Cook back, you got to hand him the ball over and over and over, right? this has to be Dalvin Cook over and over and over and over again. So for me, I'm going Vikings here because I think the Vikings template for the game has to be run, 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 run in order for them to be even remotely successful. So Vikings for me, most rushing yards on Sunday. We get to the winner of Santa Anita's 9th race. And for me, it's going to be Who's the Star. Let's take a look at Who's the Star's last race over on our DRF Formulator past performances. Hey, folks, how's it doing? You can notice I'm chilly this morning. It has been freezing out here in Southern California. I know everybody around the country and around the world is like, Southern California freezing. I know, but for me, it's freezing. I'm not quite used to this. It's just, we're not normally this cold. And let's pull up our next race at Santa Anita, where we headed next. It is what, the 7th race? Where's our next prop going? We're going to race number 9. That's where. I'm all over the place this morning. Okay, so the 9th race, we've got a first level allowance. I actually thought this race was kind of as strong as some of the stakes races will end up. And for me, the horse that I really like is number 7, Who's the Star. You can see Who's the Star had been kind of knocking on the door for a while. He'd always teased talent, but he just couldn't put it all together. And then last time out, I love when horses just kind of light bulb comes on, put it all together. For me, I think with Who's the Star, the key is the distance. He's a horse who got the opportunity to just kind of settle, and make one late run. He's the number 5 in this race. You're going to see he's off a little bit slowly, and then he's going to be towards the rear in here. But he ends up making a really, really big early move. See, he's dead last right now, and he's just kind of settling nicely, and he's waiting, and he's waiting, and he's waiting. He makes a huge wide move, and I just thought it was extremely impressive because after the wide move, it sort of looked like the move where, okay, you make that big wide move and then you stop. He's last, and then here we go. Kind of tips to the outside. They press the button and they ask, and he's going to just blow right by. And then gets to the front at the top of the stretch, and it looks like he might have moved a little bit early. It feels like he's going to hang, but then he gets determined, and he wears down that rival late. And coming into this race in September, he was behind a horse named Barbed Wire, who came back to win their next start with an 87 buyer. In November, he was behind a horse named Essential Wager. We actually see that Essential Wager beat one of the main rivals in this race, American Theorem. And Essential Wager earned a very nice figure at 99 buyer in doing so. See, here's Who's the Star. He's right up on the front end, but now it looks like he kind of hung, right? It looks like he's kind of done, and it feels like the 3 is going to get the better of him here. But no, Who's the Star gets determined, gets gritty, and just wears this guy down late, gets by him. And because it was a hard race, right? So it's back on November the 28th. You don't come back quickly. You've got at least a month to recover from that. I'm expecting a really big effort from Who's the Star in race number 9 at Santa Anita here on Sunday. Remember, Santa Anita's seeding the late pick 5 pool with an extra 50,000. So you want to probably get involved in that late pick 5 pool. It's not the lower takeout like the early one, but with that additional $50,000 seed, that will really, really help the cause there. So that's Santa Anita, race number 9. And for me, I picked Who's the Star. So we go from the 9th race to the 10th race at Santa Anita while we're here. And we've got these past performances pulled up. Let's take a look at race number 10. Now, I guess it depends on what your approach is going to be. For me, in playing this race, there are 2 that I look towards. If you want to go chalky, you want to go formful. And remember, this isn't a contest that rewards you for the price of horses. You just have to correctly answer each prop. So if it's a prop that says pick the winner, if your winner is 4 to 5 or 5 to 1, there's no difference. You don't get rewarded. You don't get the additional, ROI or anything like that. It's just pick the winner. So Maglif would be one of the absolute 2 for me. Feels like a great spot for Maglif. Think from a class standpoint, he fits really, really well in here. But I'm very rarely the type that just gravitates towards the shorter price horses. I like the 9 Derecho Dandy. We can look at his last race a little bit last time out. Now, I thought he had legitimate trouble in this spot. And this was coming, he's the 4 in the race that we're going to be watching. And this is coming after a win on October the 17th. So the race we're watching here, which is on November the 28th, this is a grade 3 going a mile on the turf at Del Mar. And he's the number 4 in here. See, he had a good start. He broke pretty well, but a few of these other horses all wanted to go to the front end. So he decides to kind of track inside. And in doing so, he ends up just kind of at the mercy of the race flow. You see, he's in the 3rd flight now, and he's just kind of behind horses. He has to sort of just wait, because the horses in front of him slow down, and the 2 in that 1st flight run off. So now Derecho Dandy's a lot farther back than where he'd like to be right now. He's double-digit lengths behind down on the inside. And he's, like 5th or 6th in that 3rd flight. Now, he actually gets a little bit of an opportunity when even here, he's starting to just kind of gradually move back up, but he's blocked. He wants to go inside, and there's just nowhere to go. I think that a lot of people might look at that race and not think it was much. See, now he flips to the outside. He tries to angle to the 2 path, and what happens? Still nowhere to go. He's looking. Now he tries to angle back inside and see what happens. He again gets just kind of squeezed out of a spot. Look, he angles back this way and then again gets squeezed out of a spot. That's like 3 or 4 times this horse was trying to find a way through and couldn't. Was he going to win the race? Probably not. Was he going to finish a lot closer in this field? He absolutely was. And I think he's the type of horse who, if you were just playing him off of his win on October the 17th, he'd be a lot shorter price in here. But because he's got that hidden race last time where he got into some trouble, he may be closer to 10-1 than where he should be, which is closer to 5-1. If this horse is anything over 5-1, I'm going to make a win wager on him. I like him a lot in this spot. I'm talking about the number 9, Derecho Dandy. So that is our 10th prop on the Santa Anita Sunday Pick'em prop contest. $500 to the winner. Totally free to enter here. Let's finish up with our final couple props on the Sunday prop contest. Free games for you. Pick'em.santanita.com. I know it gets annoying when I repeat things like that. I just like to make it so that way you all know pretty quickly in a week. You're going to be like, oh, pick'em.santanita.com. You're going to remember, because we're going to have these games every Saturday, every Sunday for the rest of the Santa Anita meet. You will have an opportunity every Saturday and Sunday to play for $500 for free. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so we finish up with number 11, Broncos Chargers over under 45.5 here. So this hasn't moved all that much throughout the week. Some of my handicap going into why I'm leaning over. Drew Lock, a little bit more turnover prone, a little bit more explosive. There's a bad Chargers run D that I think the Broncos can exploit. And the Chargers have a strong offense. They didn't perform very well against the Broncos last time, but I do think this Chargers offense is going to feel like they have a point to prove today after getting beat up by the Texans last week. I'm going to go over the 45.5 in our 11th prop, another football one. Okay, we finish up with LeBron James, LBJ. Shout out to the Lakers, rocking my Laker beanie right here, as you can see. But I mean, it's not been the greatest year for the Lakers. We can make a lot of excuses as to why, but to be honest, they haven't played very well. The team isn't built very well. They have a lot of things to take care of. But right now, LeBron James is playing fantastic. Over his last 7 games, these are his point totals: 43, 37, 32, 39, 36, 34, 31. Last 7 games for LeBron, 36 points per game, 58% field goal percentage, 42% from 3 on 8 attempts per game. He's shooting the lights out. He knows there's no Anthony Davis. He knows this Lakers team is at a crossroads right now. They cannot afford to lose 3 or 4 games in a row. They'd be out of the playoff picture. Now, on the flip side, what's nice for them is there's not a lot of great teams. You have Phoenix, you've got Golden State, Utah's pretty good. Everyone else then is kind of right in that hodgepodge. LeBron is rolling. LeBron knows what he has to do right now. The Lakers are still missing some players, still a little banged up. I'm going to go LeBron 31 or more with the recent stretch of just incredible play for LeBron. And I don't think everyone will roll 31 or over. I think a lot more people will go in the 21 to 25 or the 26 to 30 range. So that is a look at the Sunday, January 2nd, Santa Anita Pick'em Prop Contest. You're going to be playing against me and a bunch of other handicappers, gamblers from all over the country. Doesn't cost you a cent to enter. All you have to do is go to pick'em.santanita.com. Once again, reminding you to get your tiebreaker in. You want to make sure you fill out the tiebreaker. It would stink if you had a great contest. You finished in one of the top positions, but it came down to the tiebreaker and you didn't fill yours out. Pick'em.santanita.com. Here is what it looks like right when you type that website in. You can take a look at all the cards. You can take a look at how to sign up, what exactly you're doing. Log in, register, create your account. This is a sports betting challenge that combines football, basketball, and horse racing for the Sunday Santa Anita card. Best of luck to all of you out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will have these because of the holidays. The first couple weeks, our schedule was a little bit off, but starting next week, every Friday, we will have a Pick'em live stream preview show for you to set you up for the Saturday live stream Pick'em shows. Good luck. Hope everybody has an awesome Sunday. You still have plenty of time. You don't have to get these entries in till that first post at Santa Anita. So that's another positive, right? When you take a look at the cards, they tell you exactly how much time you have to fill out each question. So for race number 1, 12 o'clock Pacific time, 5 hours and 26 minutes from when I am recording this. So that's what's awesome. You always know exactly how much time you have to fill each one out. What I always like to do, I fill them all out right off the bat, check scratches, changes, check changes in the games. If you need to make any adjustments, you do so, but make sure you fill them out first. Just that way you've got everything answered. You've got them all set. Good luck on Sunday. We'll be back for you next week. We'll talk a little Saturday props on the Pick'em contest, and we'll do that on Friday with a preview for you.